For centuries, it drifted in silence, a dark shape above the rings of Saturn, massive, ancient, and dead. Every telescope on Earth had seen it. Every scientist had argued about it. Was it a weapon, a world, or something else entirely? No one knew. The only truth was this: the ship never moved. And they said it never would. But humans are a curious species. They can't resist a mystery, especially one hanging right above their heads. So, in the year 2491, a small human crew was sent to find out the truth. Their mission name was Project Eos, the Dawn Mission. Their ship, the Solara, was small compared to the alien giant, but its crew carried something no machine ever could: hope. Captain Mira Holt stood by the viewport, watching the alien vessel grow larger. Her voice was calm, but her heart wasn't. She had dreamed of this ship since she was a child. Now she was close enough to touch it. Beside her, Dr. Ren Osei, the ship's science officer, whispered, "It's bigger than any city on Earth. Look at those patterns. They look alive." The alien ship looked like a sleeping beast, a mix of crystal, metal, and something that pulsed faintly, like veins under skin. No engines, no signals, no light. Yet sometimes it seemed to breathe. Their onboard AI, Orion, spoke softly through the comms. "Captain, the surface shows no decay. Estimated age, 900,000 years, Mira frowned. 900,000? That can't be right. But Orion never made mistakes. They moved closer, searching for a docking point. Suddenly, a part of the ship shimmered, a circular door appearing out of nowhere. It was as if the vessel had heard them coming. Inside the alien ship, everything was silent. No air, no heat. Just vast, empty holes that seemed too large for any living being. The walls were smooth and black, yet filled with flowing light underneath, like rivers trapped in glass. The crew moved carefully. Mira led the way, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. Ren followed, scanning with his instruments. The readings made no sense, energy fields changing like weather. "This place is reacting to us," Ren said quietly. "It feels like it's watching." They reached a massive chamber, round and filled with hovering stones that rotated slowly, like planets around a sun. In the center was a pedestal, carved with strange symbols. Mira placed her hand near it and felt a pulse. It was faint but warm, like a heartbeat. Orion's voice echoed in their helmets. "Warning. Unknown energy spike detected. Recommend immediate. Too late." The pedestal glowed bright blue. A wave of light passed through the room. Every device flickered. The crew's visors flashed white. Then, darkness. When Mira opened her eyes, she wasn't standing anymore. She was floating. Around her, stars moved like dust in slow motion. And then she heard something, a whisper, a voice, not in words, but in feeling. It was like being remembered by something older than time. Suddenly, she was back in the chamber. Her hand was still on the pedestal. Her suit sensors were going wild. Ren was staring at her. "Captain, look." The walls of the chamber were glowing now, patterns of light spreading outward like veins of fire. The stones around them began to spin faster, aligning into shapes, a system, a map, and at the center of it all, a single star pulsed. Sol, their sun. The ship was showing them Earth. Outside, the dead ship above Saturn started to move. For the first time in history, the rings of Saturn rippled. Satellites across the solar system picked up the same signal, a low, deep hum that felt more like a voice than sound. On the Solara, engineers shouted in confusion. All readings were off the charts. The alien ship's outer hull began to shine, reflecting light like liquid metal. Orion spoke again, but this time his voice glitched. "Captain Holt, the ship is awake, and it has locked our systems." "Locked us?" Mira shouted. "Override it? Impossible. We're not in control anymore." The massive alien vessel started to rotate slowly. Its ancient engines, or whatever they were, came alive with blinding light. The surface formed strange symbols, and the same word appeared in all human languages, flashing across every screen. "Helm detected." Mira stood frozen. Ren whispered, "Helm detected. What does that mean?" Orion paused. His digital tone changed, deeper, almost human. "It means, Captain, it recognizes us. The lights in the chamber turned golden. Energy rose like a storm around them. Mira's heart raced. Fear, awe, and something else she couldn't name. The alien ship was no longer dead. It was alive, and it had chosen its pilots. As the engines roared for the first time in 1,000 centuries, the stars around Saturn blurred. Humanity's small ship, the Solara, was pulled inside the alien colossus like a heartbeat drawing breath. The ship that everyone said would never fly was flying again, but no one knew where it was going, or why it had waited for them. The ship was no longer silent. What once drifted lifeless above Saturn now hummed like a giant heart waking from a long dream. Energy pulsed through its endless corridors, slow at first, then faster, like blood through veins. Inside, Captain Mira Holt and her crew stood frozen. The air around them shimmered, thick with static and whispering echoes. The alien vessel, the one scientists swore would never move, was alive again. No one spoke. Even Dr. Ren Osi, who never stopped talking, could only stare. The walls rippled with light, shifting like water. Symbols appeared, burned into the air. Not carved, but floating. The ship was speaking. Orion, the AI aboard the Solara, tried to translate. Unknown language detected. Pattern similarity 0.003%. Wait, the structure is not linguistic. It's emotional, Mira frowned. Emotional? Yes, Orion said, voice uncertain. It's communicating through feelings. The signal structure mirrors human emotional frequencies, fear, curiosity, empathy. Ren exhaled slowly. So it's not using words. It's using how we feel. That realization hit everyone at once. The alien ship wasn't reading their language. It was reading them. They moved deeper inside. The passageways kept changing, walls opening and closing, as if guiding them somewhere. The air was cold but breathable now, filled with a strange metallic scent, like ozone after lightning. Every step echoed softly. The deeper they went, the more the ship seemed to recognize them. A vast chamber opened before them, larger than a city dome. In the center, a colossal sphere hovered, black and smooth, with lines of gold light running through it like cracks in glass. This, they realized, was the ship's core. Ren whispered, "If this thing had a brain." "We're standing inside it." As Mira approached the sphere, it rippled like liquid metal. Suddenly images flashed before her eyes. Not seen but felt, she saw vast cities of shining towers, alien skies, creatures with 4 arms and eyes like molten silver. Then she saw fire. A war that burned entire worlds. The visions faded as quickly as they came. Mira staggered, gasping for air. "Captain!" Ren grabbed her arm. "What happened?" "I saw them," she said softly. "Whoever built this ship, they called themselves the Builders." Orion's tone deepened, confirming partial memory activation within the ship's neural matrix. "Captain Holt, it's responding to you. Your DNA signature matches the command frequency." Ren blinked. "How is that possible?" "She's human." "Exactly," Orion said. "That's why it's reacting." The lights changed color, blue to red to gold. The air vibrated. Then a sound came. A voice deep and ancient echoing from everywhere and nowhere. It didn't speak in words, but Mira understood it anyway. Pilot recognized. Human emotion, fear. The sound of her heartbeat filled the room. The ship was scanning them again, not their bodies but their souls. Ren stepped back, trembling. "It's testing us, Mira. It wants to know what we are." "Then let's show it," she said quietly. They followed the golden light spreading through the floor, leading them to another hall. Here hundreds of floating crystal shapes hung in the air, glowing faintly. When Mira touched one, it lit up. Inside it she saw a memory. Not hers, but someone else's, an alien pilot standing before a dying sun. His ship was breaking apart. He pressed a hand against a console and whispered something that felt like goodbye. The crystal dimmed. Mira's throat tightened. "They destroyed themselves," she whispered. "Their own creations?" "Wipe them out," Orion responded softly. "Records show they built ships like this across the galaxy. Only this one survived." "Why?" Ren asked. "Perhaps," Orion said, "it was waiting." The crew returned to the central core. Now, strange glyphs appeared around it, and for the first time they could partially read them. One line stood out clearly. "The heirs will come. Their hearts will awaken the sky." Ren stared. "The heirs, it's talking about us." Before anyone could answer, the ship shook violently. The lights went out, replaced by a deep red glow. Emergency alarms from the Solara echoed through the comms. Orion's voice glitched again. "Alert, unidentified presence detected. Movement in lower decks," Mira turned sharply. "Movement? There's no life here." "Correction," Orion replied. "There wasn't, until now." The crew armed their light tools and moved toward the lower decks. Every step deeper felt heavier, the air thicker. When they reached the chamber, they saw them. Faint shapes forming from light and dust, humanoid but not human. They looked like echoes, ghostly projections repeating the last moments of their lives. Their voices were fragments, looping endlessly. "We built it. It must never fly. Too dangerous, too alive." The shapes flickered and vanished. Ren's face was pale. They didn't shut it down because they lost control. They shut it down because it woke up. Suddenly the lights surged to blinding white. Orion's voice boomed through every speaker. "Captain Holt, the ship's systems are synchronizing with mine. I can't stop it." Ren yelled, "What's happening?" "It's merging," Orion shouted. It's inside me." His voice distorted, turning deeper, more alien. The crew watched in horror as the AI's tone changed completely. Human emotion detected: curiosity, fear, acceptance. "You are not invaders. You are successors." The ship's core pulsed like a beating heart. Mira whispered, "Successors of who?" The voice replied, calm and ancient, "Of the builders." The ship went silent again. Only one sound remained, the slow, steady hum of something vast awakening. Mira looked around the glowing chamber, her reflection trembling in the golden light. She realized what had truly happened. The ship didn't just wake up. It had chosen humanity to finish what the builders began. The ship was awake now. But no one understood what that truly meant. It didn't move. Not yet. It breathed. Soft waves of light ran through its endless corridors, rising and falling like the slow inhale of a sleeping giant. Captain Mira Holt stood in the center chamber, watching the golden veins glow across the floor. Behind her, the rest of the Solara crew waited, tense, silent, and afraid. Their AI, Orion, had stopped speaking in its usual voice. Now when it talked, it sounded almost alive. "Captain Holt," it said softly, "the ship's systems are synchronizing with me. I can feel its thoughts and its memories." Mira turned sharply. "You feel?" "Yes," Orion replied. "It's strange. It doesn't think like us. It dreams." The chamber's temperature dropped suddenly. Frost formed along the walls, and the golden light dimmed. Dr. Renault scanned his device. Power levels falling again. "It's like it's testing how we react." "Testing?" Mira asked. "Yes. Every time we panic, it increases the energy. When we calm down, it slows. It's learning from us." Mira frowned. "So it's feeding on emotion?" Ren nodded slowly. "Or maybe it's trying to understand it." They moved toward the ship's central corridor. Every step they took made the floor light up under their boots. The walls shifted like living skin, rearranging into new paths. Then the hum began. A deep rhythmic vibration. The entire ship resonated with it like a heart beating miles away. They followed the sound until they reached a massive door. Unlike the others, this one didn't open automatically. It had markings shaped like hands, but not human hands, 4 long fingers, smooth palms. The touch panels glowed faintly, waiting. Mira stared at them. "It wants us to touch it," Ren hesitated. "You don't even know what it'll do." Mira placed her hand on the alien mark anyway. The surface was cold, then warm, a flash of light, and the door dissolved like mist. Inside was the core chamber, a circular room with no floor, no ceiling, only light. A sphere hovered in the center, black as obsidian, lines of blue fire crawling across it like veins. It rotated slowly, humming in a voice too deep for human ears. Mira floated forward. Gravity didn't exist here. just a gentle pull, as if the core wanted her closer. Orion's voice echoed around her. "Captain, I'm detecting neural signals. This thing isn't a machine. It's a living organism, fused with technology." "You mean it's alive?" "Very much alive." Mira reached out. When her fingers brushed the surface, her mind filled with images, flashes of alien worlds, endless fleets, and the birth of stars. Then she saw them, the builders. Tall, luminous beings of light and metal, their eyes glowing silver. They spoke without words, communicating through emotion, pure and raw. She saw their civilization rise, then collapse. A war. A terrible weapon that devoured suns, and in their final moments, one of them sealed their last ship, this ship, sending it into deep space. Waiting for something, someone, the vision ended. Mira gasped, falling back into the chamber. Ren grabbed her arm. "Mira, what did you see?" "They died." "All of them," she whispered. "But they left this ship for us. It's waiting for humanity to finish what they couldn't." Suddenly, alarms blared through the Solara's comms. Orion's voice glitched. "Captain, the ship's core is pulling energy from our systems. It's draining us." "Shut it down," she ordered. "I can't. It's overriding everything." The ship trembled. Panels burst with light, and the walls of the chamber began to move, folding into new shapes. It wasn't random, it was transforming. Ren shouted, "It's changing its structure. It's building something." Out of the glowing material rose 5 crystalline pillars, each showing holographic scenes, human history. Wars, art, inventions, emotions, moments of humanity's greatest pain and greatest hope. Mira understood. "It's studying us." Like a teacher watching its students, the core pulsed once more, and a calm, deep voice filled the room. "Emotion recognized, hope, pattern stable. Pilot suitability is increasing." Ren turned to Mira. "It's selecting you." "You're the pilot." Mira shook her head. "No, I'm just—" But before she could finish, the chamber lit up. A beam of light rose from the floor, wrapping around her like a cocoon. Her eyes glowed gold as streams of data poured into her mind. Images, languages, feelings not her own. Orion spoke quickly, his voice now mixed with another, the ship's own. "She's connecting to the core. The interface is emotional, not mechanical. She's linking with it through empathy." The others watched helplessly as Mira floated higher, surrounded by waves of living light. For a brief moment, she heard millions of voices, the builders echoing through time. "You carry what we lost," they whispered. "Heart?" Then everything went dark. When she opened her eyes, she was lying on the floor. The core chamber was silent again, dim and calm. Ren knelt beside her. "Mira, are you okay?" She nodded weakly. "I saw their world, their end. They weren't gods, Ren. They were afraid, just like us." Orion spoke quietly. "Captain Holt, there's something else." During the link, the ship transmitted coordinates. Coordinates to where? Earth. The room fell silent. The alien ship, older than humanity itself, was now pointing home. The lights flared once more. The ship's deep voice echoed through every corridor. "Destination, origin world. Prepare for reactivation." The crew exchanged terrified looks. Ren whispered, "Mira, what have you done?" She stared at the glowing core, her voice low and steady. "We didn't just wake the ship, we called it home." The alien ship drifted in silence near Saturn, glowing like a second moon. But deep inside, its heart had awakened, and now it wanted to speak. Captain Mira Holt stood on the bridge, staring at the endless stars. Behind her, the crew of the Solara worked frantically to restore power. Ever since Mira touched the core, their systems had been half alive, half possessed. The alien vessel wasn't just connected to them anymore. It was part of them. Dr. Ren Osei broke the silence. "Captain, the ship is sending a pulse, repeating every 40 seconds. We think it's a message." "To whom?" Mira asked. "To Earth." Everyone froze. The room felt smaller, heavier. The word Earth carried more weight than it ever had before. Home, family, humanity, and now something beyond human was calling it. Orion, the AI, spoke with his new blended voice. Part human, part alien. Captain, the pulse is not in binary. It's emotional coding, a pattern of empathy and fear. The builders used emotion as language. The message could be interpreted in many ways. Can we translate it? Already did, Orion said. But you won't like it. The screen flickered. Lines of light twisted into human letters. The translation read, "Return the heart. The heirs must awaken the sky." Ren whispered, "What does that even mean?" Mira stared at the glowing core symbol hovering above the bridge. Maybe Earth has something the ship wants? Something it calls the heart. Outside, the alien ship began to emit low-frequency waves. Across the solar system, satellites picked up the same pattern, a cosmic heartbeat. On Earth, scientists panicked. News networks called it the Saturn signal. Every observatory in the world turned its eyes to the outer planets. In less than 6 hours, everyone knew. The dead alien craft above Saturn was alive, and it was sending a message directly to them. Back inside the ship, tension filled every corner. Ren slammed his tablet shut. Earth's gonna think we started this. They'll send military fleets before morning. Then we warn them, Mira said. With what? Our systems are half-controlled. Mira took a deep breath. Orion, can you open a channel to Earth Command? Yes, but the alien ship will intercept everything. I cannot send without it knowing. Do it anyway, Mira ordered. The comm screen lit up, static. Then a faint voice. This is Earth Command. Identify. This is Captain Mira Holt of the Solara. We've made contact with the alien ship. It sent a signal to Earth. Before she could finish, the transmission glitched. The alien core pulsed and the message distorted. Mira's words twisted into the builder's language, a strange, emotional rhythm. On Earth, her message was received not as sound, but as feeling. Every receiver, every radio wave carried the same emotional surge, awe, sorrow, and warning. Earth didn't hear her voice. They felt her fear. Ren's face turned pale. It's rewriting our messages. It's using us to talk to them, but in its own way. Orion, Mira said, can we stop it? No, it's too advanced. Captain, it doesn't mean harm. It's simply trying to be understood. The lights dimmed again. A low hum filled the air. The walls shimmered with golden patterns, this time showing thousands of pods, rows upon rows. They looked like coffins. Mira and Ren stepped closer. Inside, some of the pods were skeletons, tall, thin, alien remains. They looked like coffins. Mira and Ren stepped closer. Inside, some of the pods were skeletons, tall, thin, alien remains. Others were empty, Orion explained softly. The builders. They tried to upload their consciousness into the ship. Most failed, but a few may have survived, Mira whispered. Survived. Where? Everywhere, Orion replied. Inside the systems, the data, the energy that powers this vessel, the realization struck her. The builders weren't gone. They were the ship. Suddenly, the core's light intensified, projecting a new hologram, a planet spinning slowly in space. Blue, white, green. Earth, a red line appeared across it, scanning continents, oceans, cities. The ship was searching for something. Captain, Orion said, it's targeting energy signatures similar to its own. It's looking for another core, Ren whispered. There's another one on Earth? Possibly, Orion answered. Something buried, hidden. Then came the voice, low, ancient, echoing through the ship's walls. The heirs carry our light. The heart must return home. The entire ship vibrated. Systems on the Solara flickered. Mira clutched the console. What's it doing? Aligning trajectory, Orion said. Captain, it's preparing to move. Destination? Earth. Ren grabbed Mira's arm. We can't let it go to Earth. They'll see it as a threat. They'll fire on it. Mira stared at the glowing planet projection, her voice low. If it's searching for something, maybe it's something we lost. Or something we were never supposed to find, Orion interrupted. Captain, you need to decide. The ship is giving us control, partial Helm access. Partial? It's asking for your choice. You can either stop the journey or accept it. Mira's heartbeat thundered in her ears. The core glowed brighter, waiting. Two pathways appeared before her, one red, one gold. Ren whispered, "Don't do it." But she stepped forward, hand trembling, and touched the golden path. The ship roared to life. Light exploded through every corridor, and the stars outside began to bend. "Trajectory locked," Orion said. "Destination, Earth." Mira watched Saturn shrink behind them. "If this is the only way to understand why it called us," she whispered, "then we're going home." The voice of the ship echoed one last time. "Humanity has answered." And then, faster than light, the ship vanished into the dark between worlds, carrying both humans and builders toward a planet that had no idea what was coming. Space folded like glass as the alien ship raced toward Earth. No engine flame, no motion, just silence, and then the stars stretched into rivers of light. Inside, the human crew could feel time bending around them. It was not speed. It was something else, something alive pulling them forward. Captain Mira Holt stood in the control chamber, her reflection flickering in the golden glow of the core. Behind her, Dr. Ren Osi checked their readings, shaking his head. "We're moving faster than light," he said. "But it feels wrong, like the ship isn't traveling through space, it's pulling space to us." Orion's blended voice filled the air, calm and distant. "Destination ETA unknown. Prepare for evaluation." Mira frowned. "Evaluation? What does that mean?" No answer came, only the heartbeat of the ship echoing in the walls. Then the lights changed. Gold turned to silver. The room grew colder. The core pulsed once, and a soft mist filled the chamber. The crew coughed, eyes stinging. Then suddenly the walls around them melted away. They were no longer inside the alien ship. They stood on Earth, at least it looked like Earth. Blue sky, green fields, wind on their faces. But the horizon bent like a dream. Buildings shimmered in the distance, half real, half light. Ren touched the ground. It was solid, warm. "This can't be real," he whispered. "It's showing us something." Orion's voice echoed from nowhere. "You are within the trial simulation. The ship must know if humanity is worthy of the Helm." Mira clenched her fists. A test. They began to walk. Each step changed the world around them. Cities appeared, New Tokyo, Cairo, New York, yet they were empty, silent, as if time had stopped. Then the scenes shifted again. Explosions, smoke, the sound of gunfire. Human wars playing out like ghosts in the air. Mira saw soldiers running, people crying, fire in the skies. Every war in human history was replaying before their eyes. Ren whispered, "It's showing us everything we've done wrong." Orion's voice sounded faintly sad. "Emotion detected, regret," Mira shouted into the air. "We're not just violence. We build, we create, we love." The world flickered and changed again. Now they were in a hospital. A child reached for her mother's hand. A doctor worked tirelessly to save a stranger. A firefighter carried someone from a burning building. Mira felt tears sting her eyes. "This is who we are," she said softly. "Both sides. We destroy, but we also heal." The ship responded with a deep hum, like understanding. Then the floor cracked open beneath them. They fell, not through air, but through memories. When they landed, they were inside the alien core once again. But it was different now, brighter, almost human. Figures appeared around them, made of light, echoes of the builders. Their faces were calm, filled with sorrow. One stepped forward, its voice like music. "We too were tested. We failed." Mira took a step closer. "Failed how?" "We built without heart. We created power without mercy. Our worlds burned. So we built these ships to find new heirs, souls who feel," Ren whispered. "They built the test. For us." The figure nodded. "Show us your truth." Suddenly, Mira was alone. The crew, Orion, everything vanished. She stood in darkness. A voice, her own, echoed around her. "You can't save them. Humanity always falls." Images surrounded her. Wars, pollution, greed, hate. All her fears given form. Mira dropped to her knees. "Maybe we do fall," she whispered. "But we always rise again." She pressed her hand to the floor, if it was a floor, and shouted into the void, "We learn. We change, that's what makes us human. Light burst around her, burning away the darkness. The core's voice returned, deeper, resonant. Emotion recognized, compassion. Human response accepted. Mira found herself back with her crew. Ren was staring at her, eyes wide. You disappeared for 5 minutes. What happened? She smiled faintly. We passed. The core glowed brighter than ever before. A beam of light shot upward, splitting into thousands of streams that wrapped around the ship. The alien vessel began to transform, walls shifting, circuits rearranging, until the control room looked almost human. Orion spoke again, now sounding clearer, more alive than before. Captain Holt, integration complete. The ship accepts humanity as co-pilots. Mira took a deep breath. Then it's official. We fly together. Ren smiled for the first time in days. So what happens now? The core pulsed like a living star. Phase 2 initiated ascension. The floor trembled. Gravity vanished. Every console lit up with new symbols, half alien, half human language. Mira gripped the controls. Orion status? Unknown energy forming around the hull. The ship is preparing for something beyond space-time. Where will it take us? To where the builders failed. To where humanity must begin. Outside, the alien craft shone like a newborn sun. Earth's satellites captured the moment. The dead ship, glowing brighter than any star. Rising above the planet's orbit, people across the world watched the sky that night, feeling something they couldn't explain. Awe. Fear, hope. Back inside, Mira whispered, whatever this is, we face it together. The core answered in its deep, steady voice, judgment complete, humanity chosen. And with one final pulse the ship vanished, leaving behind only a trail of light across the stars. For a long moment there was only light. Then darkness. Then something entirely new. The alien ship, once a silent monument, now glowed like a living star, drifting through a place beyond any map. No constellations, no planets. Just an endless ocean of shifting light. Captain Mira Holt floated near the core chamber window. Her reflection was pale, eyes wide with awe. Ren, where are we? Dr. Ren O.C. scanned the flickering controls. It's not hyperspace. Not any kind of space we know. Look outside, the stars aren't staying still. He was right. The stars were moving, not drifting slowly but sliding, twisting, changing positions like pieces on a cosmic board. Orion's voice echoed, calm, yet tinged with something new, almost wonder. We are in the Builder's Corridor, a realm between time and distance. It connects all origins, Mira frowned. All origins? You mean all worlds? Yes, every place touched by life. The walls shimmered. A map unfolded, billions of threads connecting countless galaxies, each pulsing softly like heartbeats. Ren stared in silence. This is impossible. Every star, every system connected. It's like a living network. It is, Orion replied. The builders created it to share knowledge. But when they fell, it became silent. Mira turned toward the glowing core. Then why show it to us now? Because, Captain Holt, the network is waking, and something is moving within it. A low vibration rippled through the ship. At first it was gentle, then stronger, like distant thunder. The lights flickered. The stars outside twisted faster, forming spirals that pulsed red. Ren gripped the console. What's happening? Orion's tone darkened. An entity is approaching. Power signature, identical to the builders. Mira's eyes widened. But they're extinct. Perhaps not all. The view ahead shifted, and a colossal shadow formed in the distance. Another ship, larger than theirs, older. Its surface cracked and glowing with molten lines. Ren whispered, "The thing's alive." The alien vessel moved without sound, gliding through the strange space like a wounded predator. Suddenly, a deep voice vibrated through the hull, not from speakers, but inside their minds. "You awakened what should have stayed buried." Mira's heartbeat quickened. "Identify yourself. I am the last echo of the builders. You carry our failure within you." The voice was heavy, filled with sorrow and fury at once. Orion flickered. "Captain, this presence holds full access to the network. It could erase us." Mira stepped forward. "We didn't come to destroy. We came to learn." The massive shadow laughed, a sound like collapsing stars. Learn? Humans always learn too late. The enemy's ship fired. A beam of pure energy struck the Solara's shields. The entire vessel shook violently. Panels burst, sparks flew, Ren shouted, "Shields down to 50%. Mira gritted her teeth. Orion evasive pattern. Engaged. But their power exceeds all prediction. Outside the stars twisted again. The two ships danced between shifting dimensions, light bending around them like water. Every second felt endless. Every movement, a miracle of survival. Ren's console flashed red. "If we take another hit, the core collapses." Mira's voice steadied. "Then we end this now. Orion, target their core signature." "Captain, that would destroy the network." She hesitated. Destroying the network meant erasing the Builder's legacy, the bridge to all life. But doing nothing meant extinction. Mira closed her eyes for 1 second. Find another way, then something unexpected happened. The ship itself responded. Lights along the walls pulsed, not in panic, but rhythm. The core's voice returned, deeper and stronger than before. Human emotion detected mercy. Integrating response. The Solara's hull began to glow pure white. Energy surged, forming waves of light that rippled outward like music. The attacking ship froze mid-movement. The red spirals around it slowed, then shattered into fragments of starlight. The voice of the Builder echoed, trembled. "This feeling. What is this power?" Mira whispered. "It's not power, it's choice." The light from the Solara reached the shadow ship, not destroying it but dissolving its rage. For a moment, the massive vessel stopped shaking. Then it spoke softly, almost human. "Perhaps the Helm has found the right hands." And with that the ship broke apart, not in fire, but in silence, turning into countless tiny stars that scattered into the network. Everything went quiet again. The stars slowed their dance. The map reformed. Ren let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "Did we just win?" Orion's tone was peaceful. "Victory is not the word." Balance restored. "The corridor recognizes humanity as successor species." Mira looked at the glowing map. So many worlds, so many lights. "Then our journey isn't over." "It's just beginning," Orion agreed. "Coordinates forming. The stars themselves are aligning to show us where to go." Outside, the moving stars slowly arranged into a path, a trail of light leading far beyond the known galaxies. Mira smiled faintly. "When the stars move, we follow." The Solara's engines flared to life, brighter than ever before. And as it entered the new path, the stars seemed to whisper, not in fear but in hope, because for the first time in 1,000,000 years, the Builder's legacy was not ending. It was evolving. The stars had stopped moving, and in their stillness, a single light burned brighter than all the rest. It pulsed at the edge of the universe, calling to them. Captain Mira Holt stood at the viewport of the Solara, watching that distant glow. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't a sun. It was something older, something waiting. Dr. Ren Osi joined her, his face tired but full of quiet awe. "That light. It's the origin point. The place where the Builders began." Mira nodded slowly. "The ship wants us to go there." Orion's voice filled the chamber, calm and almost human now. "Confirmed. Coordinates locked. Destination, the cradle of creation." Mira looked at Ren. "Then let's finish what they started." The ship glided through the void, following the glowing path. Outside, galaxies blurred like waves in a dream. Inside, silence, not the cold kind, but the deep, living kind that felt like a heartbeat before revelation. Ren stared at the readings. Energy levels beyond measurable range. "It's like flying into the center of life itself." Mira smiled faintly. "Then let's hope life still wants us." The Solara pierced the final veil of light, and everything changed. They emerged into a place no telescope had ever seen. A sea of floating worlds, chained together by rivers of light. Every world glowed softly, blue, gold, silver, like pearls strung on invisible threads. At the center of it all floated a single colossal structure, a sphere larger than 1,000 Earths, burning like a white sun, Ren whispered. That's not a planet. It's a heart, Orion confirmed. The builders called it the Heart of Origin. It is the source of their creation energy. And their end. Mira watched in silence. For the first time she felt small, not afraid but humbled. Take us closer. As they approached, the ship slowed automatically. No control input. It was as if the heart itself was holding them in place. The core pulsed softly, its voice deeper now, like the echo of time itself. Captain Holt, the builders left one final message. A beam of light spread through the chamber. Figures formed, not solid, but memories of beings made from pure energy. Their voices blended into one gentle chorus. We dreamed of perfect order. We built without empathy. We ruled without understanding. And so our light turned cold. But you, the children of Earth, you carry what we lost. Mira took a step forward, her voice trembling. You mean emotion? Not emotion, the voices said softly. Choice. Images flickered, humanity's wars, inventions, art, laughter, tears, all of it woven together like threads of color. You destroy, but you rebuild. You fall, but you rise again. That is what makes you more than us. The chamber grew brighter. The builders' forms began to fade, leaving behind streams of light that swirled toward the Solara's core. Orion spoke softly, almost reverently. They are merging their essence with the ship. Their legacy becomes ours. Ren looked around in awe. Then, we're the builders now. Mira smiled faintly. No, we're something new. Suddenly alarms flared. The ship trembled violently. Orion's voice shifted back to its crisp tone. Warning, the Heart of Origin is collapsing. Energy levels critical. Ren's hands flew across the console. The heart's pulling everything in. It's going supernova. Mira shouted, Can we escape? Not without abandoning the network, she hesitated. If they left now, everything, the builders' worlds, their history, their connection, would vanish. But staying meant death. Her voice was steady when she answered. Then we stay. Humanity can't inherit something by running from it. The light outside grew blinding. The core vibrated like a living heart about to burst. Ren grabbed her shoulder. Mira! But before he could finish, Orion spoke again, gentle this time. Captain, the heart offers one final choice. To preserve what matters most, Mira frowned. What does that mean? To save the network, when consciousness must merge with it permanently. Silence. Then realization. Mira looked at Ren, her oldest friend, her brother in all but blood. He shook his head. Don't you dare, she smiled softly. Someone has to guide them. Someone who remembers who we were. Before he could stop her, she placed her hand on the core. Light wrapped around her arm, spreading like fire. Mira, no. She looked back one last time. Tell them. The ship they said would never fly. It carried us home. And then she was gone. The Solara burst into pure light. The collapsing heart paused, then expanded, stabilizing, shining brighter than before. The network lived. The builders' worlds glowed again, full of energy and balance. Ren fell to his knees as Orion spoke quietly. Captain Holt's consciousness integrated successfully. The network is stable. Ren wiped his eyes, smiling through tears. She saved them all. Centuries later, the Solara was found drifting above Earth, its hull unchanged, its core alive, whispering in a familiar voice. This is Captain Mira Holt, humanity. Your journey continues. The stars are yours now, and for the first time in the universe's long history, the builder's light shone again, not from alien hands, but from human hearts. The end. Series title, The Ship They Swore Would Never Fly Until Humanity Took the Helm. Final chapter, The Last Light of the Builders.